Hey everybody, welcome to the webinar. So excited to be here with you this morning, or maybe afternoon for some of you. So if you could let me know in chat that you can see and hear me here, I'll give you a little test. How many fingers am I holding up? That's funny. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm in a great mood today. Wanted to chat with you about perfect interview answers, what to say to get the job that you want, how to get hired. I do interview coaching with folks from around the world, and so this is what I want to help you with today. Hey, Kathy, got it. 2 fingers, that's right. Is there anybody else out there that can see and hear me? And once I get confirmation that we can, that the technology is working, we're going to go ahead and get started. I've got a PowerPoint for you I'm going to put up, but I just want to see 1 or 2 more people tell me that the video is working. Hey, guest 1855, got it right. Awesome. Okay, so I'm thinking our technology is working. Sheila, can you go ahead and take us over to the PowerPoint? And we'll get started on perfect interview answers, what to say to get the job that you want. Okay, so there we are. There's the PowerPoint. Awesome. Okay. Welcome to Perfect Interview Answers. What to say to get the job that you want. I want to welcome you to the webinar. I am Peggy McKee. I'm a recruiter, a career coach, CEO of Career Confidential, and your presenter for today's webinar. Through Career Confidential, we've helped more than 28,000 people in 92 different countries get hired with our aggressive go-getter tips and tools that truly set you apart. And I'm excited to share this with you in this webinar. Now, our plan is to give you these job-winning insights and interview answers for about 40 to 45 minutes. Then we'll take about 5 minutes to talk about some additional training that you can get with some special bonuses and surprises. I'm super excited to let you know about those. My team will be collecting all your questions for the Q&A. So if you do ask a question and I don't answer it immediately, we will answer it in the Q&A. So any questions you have, go ahead and put those in chat. Unless you have super high-speed internet, you may want to get the kids or anybody else off of Netflix, as that will take up bandwidth and could interrupt your sound and video, and we don't want that to happen. Close everything, shut your door. This could be one of the most important hours of this year for you. Now, let me show you how to navigate the platform here. Below the presentation is the chat area. Most of you have already found that as well. In the group chat, you can chat with me, with other webinar participants, and this is where you'll type your questions in. Now, you are going to get a free gift for attending today's webinar. I'll let you know when you can download that. It will be over to the right. And I like to ask a lot of questions. In fact, one of the questions I like to ask, it's a key performance indicator of how your job search is going. I like to say and know how many interviews you have scheduled in the next 4 weeks. So if you could, in chat, tell me if you have multiple interviews scheduled in the next 4 weeks. Because this is an indicator of how your job search is going. And we did some research. A lot of people say that you need 10 or even 20 interviews to know that you're going to get a job offer. Here at Career Confidential, we see people needing only 5 to 10 interviews to get one great offer if they're getting those interviews, right? But if we can improve your interview skill sets, you can whittle down your number and get more offers. And that will give you choices and power, and you'll end up with the job that you really want, which is what we want to pull off here today. So the question was, do you have multiple interviews in the next 4 weeks? There are quite a few folks here who do. Some folks don't. That's okay. So everybody's in the right place here. Now, your free gift for attending today's webinar is a fantastic job interview prep kit. And it's going to show up over on the right-hand side. Sheila will let you know when it's there so you can download that and listen to it or look at it after the webinar. If you stay to the end of the webinar, you're going to receive a video that goes with it that will have time-saving shortcuts and extras for you to use. So let's go ahead and get started. In every job interview, you need to sell yourself for the job. A lot of people hate that term and the idea of it, but we're going to break this down for you. To sell yourself for the job, you need to communicate effectively with the hiring manager and give perfect answers to the most common interview questions and ask the one question that puts you over the top and gets you the job. You're about to hear the magic words, phrases, and communication tips that have convinced hiring managers all over the world to extend job offers. Now, why are these words so special? It's because they allow you to communicate several critical concepts like, I'm going to be a good hire for you. I can solve your problems. You won't regret this decision. You're going to love having me on your team. Now, all of these help you answer the most important question, which is, why should we hire you. And this is hard for anyone, but it's especially hard if you're someone who's not comfortable tooting your own horn. You have to sell yourself in that interview. And it isn't just about telling the hiring manager what you think they want to hear. It's about packaging yourself in such a way that they'll find you attractive, saying, hey, I have this and I've got that too. It's being strategically conscious of your overall mission in the interview, knowing how to answer interview questions, and knowing what to say at the end of the interview to close the deal. And we're going to go over examples of all of these. So let's start with the mission. If I asked you what's your mission in the job interview, most of you would say that your mission is to get the job, but that's not quite true. We got to break this down. Now, before I go into this a little further, I do want to ask you guys to tell me in chat what kind of job you're looking for. Okay, so if you could tell me in chat what kind of job you're looking for, because that's going to help me give you even more specific advice about your job search. So if you could go ahead and tell me in chat what kind of job you are looking for. Okay, so your mission in the job interview is to answer the 4 concerns of every hiring manager. And those are, do you understand the job? Can you do the job? Will you do the job? And do you pose a risk to their continued employment? Every hiring manager needs to have these questions answered, and they're not going to ask you these outright. So the words that you use during the interview will communicate what they need to know and reassure them so that they can hire you. So let's go over each one of these one at a time. The first concern, do you understand the job? From a hiring manager's perspective, too many people show up to the interview without knowing anything about the job or the company. So you need to do your homework like an A+ student. And then use magic words that show you understand the job, like, I've done this before when I, or we did this same thing when. When they mention projects or strategies or goals that they want to meet, you can use these words to show that you understand how to be successful with those goals because you've done the same or similar things before. Throughout the interview, your stories will illustrate that you understand the goals, the missions, the objectives, and the processes of this job. Now, if you haven't actually done this job before, you can say, I did something similar when. Now, this shows that you have transferable skill sets and that you know how to apply those to this job. Don't say, I haven't done that, but I've done this, because all they're going to hear is, I haven't done that. Talk in a positive way about what you've done that relates to what they want. Connect the dots for them. Research the job extensively. When you have a good grasp of the issues surrounding the role, you can ask informed, knowledgeable questions that show that understanding. All of this will help you communicate that you might not have worked in the role before, but you've done everything necessary to prepare and you are ready. Now, a great way to overcome a lack of experience is to job shadow, okay? Job shadowing is when you follow someone around during their day to see what they do in their job, okay? You end up with insider information you just can't get any other way, and you'll be surprised at how much better you will interview after you complete one of these. It's especially helpful if you're moving from one career to another, if you're a recent grad, if you've been out of the workforce for a bit. Arranging and completing a job shadow shows that you have initiative and that you're willing to do what it takes to educate yourself to be successful. The second thing is on the can you do the job. Can you do the job is different than do you understand it. The best way to address this is to talk about your education, your background, your knowledge, your experience, and then show them examples of your past successes with a brag book. Have you guys ever heard of a brag book? A brag book is an amazing resource that you can use that provides evidence of your success in the past. Now, a brag book can be a folder or a binder. It can include letters of recommendations, attaboy notes, your references, reward letters, types of equipment you've used or software that you've marketed, certifications, financial or PowerPoint presentations, articles you've written, brochures you've developed. Now, it's best if these things relate directly to the job, but if they don't, you have a lot of experience, just like with the interview answers, you can use these to connect the dots to show them how these things will transfer, how these skills will transfer. Either way, the book will act as a powerful reference for you, okay, and prove your past success. Now, the third concern that the hiring manager has is, will you do the job? Okay, now will you do the job is different. It is a concern about work ethic or focus and your future on the job. The very best way that I have ever seen to show a hiring manager how you will do on the job is to present a 30, 60, 90-day plan. So I'm going to ask you guys in chat, tell me, do you take a 30, 60, 90-day plan to your interview? Just let me know there in chat. Do you take a 30, 60, 90-day plan to your interview? And while you answer that, I'm going to let you listen to what Erin said. Erin chose our membership, joined our membership, our coaching membership, used all of our tools, and I want you to hear how her job search went for her.
I am an HR professional, have been looking really a short amount of time. Position was eliminated briefly at a company and found myself having to start this search. Utilizing the coaching program with you, Peggy, I literally started it on a Wednesday, realistically, and interviewed with a company, had a second interview 5 days later, and had a job offer within a week. So it was amazing.
Okay, so let's go see what your results were. The question was, do you take a 30, 60, 90-day plan to the interview? Looks like most of you have not been doing that. This is a huge opportunity, and I'm so glad you are here in this webinar because this is a big opportunity for you to set yourself apart. In fact, I've got one of our clients is in a final interview today and tomorrow, 2 different jobs. She was struggling to get offers. She started using the 30, 60, 90-day plan, and she said the difference is night and day in how that transformed her interviews and affected how managers thought about her. So this is a really big opportunity for each and every one of you. Now, we have 4 different 30, 60, 90-day plans. We have a manager's plan, an executive plan, a sales plan, and an action plan. I'll have Sheila put the links in there for you, but I'm going to tell you a little bit more about these things. The 30, 60, 90-day plan is a written outline of what you'll be doing for the first 3 months on the job. And it's divided up into segments. Your first 30 days, which are usually focused on learning the company and getting to know everyone. The next 30 days, which is usually the getting up to speed portion. And the last 30 days where you're setting goals, accomplishing on your own, like going after new business, starting new projects, implementing new procedures, or otherwise contributing to the growth of the company. These plans can be very detailed or simple, but they must be specific to the job and to the company that you're interviewing with. Now, what kinds of things can you include in a plan? Well, a new sales rep might spend time in the first 30 days learning the CRM software. They might schedule a speaker program in the second month. I've got a couple different things here for you. I'm not going to read through all of these, but here's what you need to know. These are just a few quick ideas. Every plan should have a full page of activity for each 30-day section. And a plan does take some time and effort to put together, but the results will be well worth it. A specific plan proves that you've done your homework on the company, and that right there shows that you can step right into the job. That allows them to visualize or see you in the job, and that visualization is a really big motivator. As you go over your plan, you'll demonstrate your communication and strategic thinking skills. You'll show how you prioritize and set goals. They'll see your knowledge, your dedication before they even have the offer. And this will make the hiring manager think, wow, we need this kind of thinking in our company. I can't let you get away. So if you want to stand out, just like Wesley, who has the 2 final interviews this week, then you need to bring the 30, 60, 90-day plan when you go to the interview, okay? Now, Derek wrote us and told us that he had been out of work for 5 years because his wife had died and he had little kids and he stayed home with them until they got into school and a little more independent. When they did, he started looking for a job and he had a hard time getting interviews, right? But when he would get the interview, even though it was a job he could have done with his eyes closed, he couldn't get the offer, couldn't get hired for any jobs. And so before his next interview, he got the Career Confidential 30, 60, 90-day manager's plan because he's an operations manager. And he took it to the interview and they said he was the best prepared candidate they'd ever seen. And they invited him to come back for a more senior role. And he did. And when he did come back for that senior role, well, then they interviewed him and he took a plan for that as well. And guess what? He got the offer. So this is what I want for each and every one of you. You see, the 30, 60, 90-day plan, if you look at that with Derek, without the plan, he can't even get an offer With the plan, they have him come back and interview for a more senior role. What a difference that is. You see, the plan helps you communicate better so that you get the offer. Your offer will usually be stronger because of it. And if you want to negotiate, next slide, if you want to negotiate salary or a better compensation package, your position will be stronger. They'll have a positive bias towards you as you start work, and that will benefit you as you move forward in your role, and that will lead to promotions. When you're up for that promotion, you'll need to use the 30, 60, 90-day plan again. So make sure that you take a 30, 60, 90-day plan to every face-to-face interview from now on, okay? And again, Sheila's given you those links for that. Now, the fourth concern that the hiring manager has is, do you pose a risk to his or her own continued employment? This is a real deal. I can tell you that I hired a guy back in the 90s. His name was Jeff Foles. He did not have the right experience. My manager told me that if he failed, I might lose my job because he was such a, I guess, a step outside of what they were used to hiring. Now, let me tell you, I thought about that long and hard. I went ahead and hired him, and he turned out to be fabulous, but it was very scary. And see, that's what those hiring managers have. That's why your stories help. That's why your brag books help. That's why the 30, 60, 90-day plan helps. That's why closing helps, okay? And Jeff was very good at closing. He closed that interview very strong. So I'm going to have Sheila give you guys the links for we have a podcast six-pack. It has 6 different podcasts. No, you might have known that but just by the name, but excuse me, some of those podcasts are on panel interviews, closing in the interview, which I told you Jeff did a great job or I wouldn't have hired him, phone interviews, behavioral event interviews, references. So I'm going to have her share that with you. Those podcasts are very, very valuable. You see, when hiring managers are deciding between candidates, they don't want a coin toss. They want a clear winner. So let's make this a contest between you and your identical twin. Your twin looks just like you, drives the same car, has the same resume, does the same job, and even answers interview questions the exact same way that you do. Now, let's imagine that you and your twin are going to go and interview for the same job tomorrow. Because you're in this webinar, you're going to bring a well-developed 30, 60, 90-day plan. And that's going to display your critical thinking skills, your knowledge, your drive, your energy, your enthusiasm. And because of the research and knowledge that you gained putting together the plan, you and the hiring manager are going to get in a deeper conversation about the company, about the job, their problems, and how you're a solution for those. Now you leave the interview, your twin comes in, okay, empty-handed, or maybe she brings her resume, right? And I want to know, and I want you to tell me in chat, based on that, who is going to get the offer. You can say, I will, or my twin will. Who's going to get the offer? Between you and our identical twin, you bring the plan, you have the deeper conversation, the manager gets to visualize you in the job. Who's going to get the offer? You can say, I will, or my twin will. Kevin says, I will. Yes, yes, yes. Adina says, I will. Kathy says, I will. You bet. The twin with the plan. It is so clear. So Carolina, she got the 30, 60, 90-day plan, and she took it to 2 different interviews in the same week. And she said both of the interviews turned into an onboarding discussion. She got both offers. And it wasn't because she was different. It was because she took a plan, and that allowed her to show how it would be to have her in that job, and they could see it, right? Can you see that? And once they see it, they're going to make you the offer. So the twin with a plan is going to get the offer, no question. All right, so to recap, having a plan is the #1 way that you can complete your mission in the interview, addressing those 4 concerns. And if you don't do this, you won't get the offer. Now, let's move on to some specific interview questions and answers, and then one question that you need to ask. And I saw a note in here from someone, and I wanted to go back to that, and because someone's got an interview today. Okay, here we go. Jennifer, a video interview tomorrow, and tips on how to get in early in the conversation. with the question of what are you looking for? What's your ideal candidate? The job description is vague. So I want to make sure that I answer that. Jennifer, definitely stay. When we get to Q&A, I'm going to answer that. And if you guys have any questions that I haven't answered or given you an answer to, I want to do that in the Q&A. But right now, let's talk about 4 of the most common questions that you're going to face, okay? The 4 most common questions that you're going to face are, tell me about yourself. Why should we hire you? Why do you want to join this company? And what's your greatest weakness? Now, each one of these is trying to uncover issues. You represent a risk. You have to reassure them and sell yourself for the job. So the first question is, tell me about yourself. Some people think this is an icebreaker question, so they'll talk about their kids or their hobbies, the fact that they run, whatever it is, right? But in the interview, this is not an icebreaker question. This is the beginning of the interview. And I think of this question as kind of like the groundwork or the framework or the foundation, if you will, about, oh, listen to this. Guest 1855 said, I had an interview last week. They loved my plan. I was the only one who brought it. I didn't get the job, but the 30-16 90-day plan is a definite game changer. Okay, so 1855, did you go through my podcast on closing? Because that's something you might need to be doing in your interview. That might be one of the reasons you didn't get moved forward. Not sure. Just want to make sure that you've gone through that. Also, I have a strategic interview approach, which is an hour and a half of video coaching on how to interview. I'll have Sheila give you guys the links for that, just so that you can take a look at that. We are going to offer a special opportunity for you, but I want you to see that because that's an hour and a half of video interview coaching. It's very, very strong. So this question, tell me about yourself. When I do one-on-one coaching, I probably spend, when I do an hour interview prep, I probably spend about 10 minutes on this question because it's so important. And a lot of people are just not prepared for it. They don't know how they're going to answer it. So when you hear this, I want you to, this is a golden opportunity for you to set yourself apart. So I want you to put yourself in that hiring manager's shoes. What is it that he or she is going to be most impressed by? What's going to get their attention and make them sit up and take notice? You could start with your education. You could start with your degree. You could talk about your high GPA if it was. If it wasn't, don't talk about that. And hit the highlights. Talk about where you were promoted, you learned skills, you got accomplishments, awards, you were recognized. Not necessarily the things that you're most impressed with, but the things that this hiring manager will be most impressed with. That's what you want to be talking about, okay? So for instance, your answer might sound like, I received a degree in X from Y University. From there, I took my first role as an ABC and XYZ company. I received 2 more X awards and promotions and then was recruited by the competition for another role where again, I achieved 2 more X's and was recognized for X, which has led me to you. This answer lets them know that you were recognized, that you were valued. This acts like a powerful recommendation. If you were promoted, you want to mention that. If you gained skills, talk about that. You got to put your own spin on this story, but this is the general language that you should use to tell the story. And you don't need to talk longer than a minute or so. Deliver a very targeted message that says, I'm skilled, I've accomplished great things, I can bring that to work here for you. All right. So the second question you have to be ready for is, why should we hire you? Everyone has to be able to answer this. You've got to tell them why they need you. And if you don't know, then you may want to get some interview coaching because we've got to have a good answer for this. You can say you need to hire me because my skills in X, Y, and Z are a great fit for this role. I'm a good fit culturally. I performed very well in other positions, and I'm going to be able to perform successfully in this role as well. Okay. It's good to get communication to ask if they agree with you. Do you agree? Did I answer your question? Did I answer your question completely? All right. These kinds of follow-up questions help you to continue the conversation. Okay, 1855 says he closed hard. Awesome, good deal. Okay, I want you to think in terms of expanding, clarifying, and elaborating, letting them know, are we on the same page here? Am I communicating what I need to help you feel comfortable? As a part of that, I want you to try to talk about what you have that they've asked for in a candidate, plus just a bit more. This is really important and helpful if you can do it. You don't need a lot, just one more thing that says why you're special over and above other candidates. Say what it is and how it's going to help you exceed their expectations. You won't just meet them, You will exceed them. Talk about how well you'll fit with the company culturally, how you're going to see that even more when they speak to your references. Everything that you say should be focused on how you're not going to just meet, but will exceed their expectations, because that's what tells them why they should hire you over all other candidates. Now, another interview question you got to be ready for is, why do you want to join this company, or why do you want to work here? Now, this is very important, this question right here. You need to give them a couple reasons, give them some specific examples. You could say, I want to join this company because, and then give them at least three reasons why. The first one should show fit in terms of skills or experience. I can see where my skills and experience would benefit you. And that's going to, if I benefit you, I'm going to benefit personally, professionally, and financially from that. If I can come in here and fix this problem for you, I'm sure you'll have other problems down the road. This looks like a great future for me. Now, the second one can show fit, but in a different way. Another reason I want to join this company is that I like the culture. I like what I've been reading about the company. It seems like a great fit for my personality and values and who I want to be working for. And then you could say something that personalizes that a bit more, like, this job is in a great location. I've always wanted to move here. It's only a 5-minute commute. Or I've always used your products and I'd love to be a part of the company. These answers sell your skills while they build rapport with the hiring manager. Now, another question that you have to anticipate, I hate this question, but you need to know they're going to ask you, what's your greatest weakness? And you've got to answer it, okay? So you have to have a real answer, and you need to have thought this out and be comfortable saying it over and over and over again. Now, don't tell them a real weakness, because they will cross you off the list if you do. So you don't want to tell them you're disorganized or you have an anger management problem or something like that, right? You want to use a real weakness that is a strength in this job. So like for me, what I use is impatience. I am extremely impatient. It causes me problems. In fact, I less than a couple months ago got stuck in Louisiana because I could not wait for someone to move, and I tried to go around them and, got stuck. So it was great, right? And then I had to really learn some patience while I waited to get out. But in my job, that impatience is really good for me. I push. I'm always trying to get more done. I'm always trying to see if I can get it done a day sooner or something like that. So it's definitely a weakness. And I can talk about how I can overcome it, how I've already worked on minimizing it, how I'm aware of it, right? Thinking about the greatest weakness question this way requires a little more creativity and thoughtfulness on your part, but the strategic advantages that you'll gain will be worth it. Now, we've covered your mission in the interview, the 4 concerns of every hiring manager, and the 4 selling answers to common interview questions. So I'd like to ask you another question. In light of this, do you think that if you brought a detailed, comprehensive 30, 60, 90-day plan to the interviews, you would get more offers? You can answer that in chat for me. If you brought a detailed, comprehensive 30, 60, 90-day plan to the interview, would you get more offers? Now, while you answer that question, I'm going to tell you about Karen. Karen had been looking for a job for 11 months. She'd had 20 interviews. She purchased our strategic interview approach, which is that hour-and-a-half of video interview coaching. And she also got our 50 job interview questions and answers, and she used a 30, 60, 90-day plan, okay? And she said, what's really amazing, you know yourself, but putting it into words is really difficult. I think there's some folks on here who have that problem. She landed a great job in the last 2 interviews after she got this material from Career Confidential. So what that tells me is Karen could have had that job 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months ago, right? If she'd had the right training. And look at the money there. Karen makes at least $100,000 a year, about 10 grand a month. So that means she could have put 50 grand in her own bank account during that time, right? Learning, investing in yourself, learning how to interview better is going to pay you back big time. So it's a very, very, very good investment over and over again. Okay. So she didn't change anything about herself. She just became strategic. So the question I had asked you was, if you brought a 30, 60, 90-day plan to the interview, would you get more offers? Everybody is saying yes, 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 yes. And it's true. Okay. Now, we talked about those 4 concerns. We talked about at least 4 of the interview questions. And I told you, if there's one that you want me to help you with, you can put that into chat and we'll do that during the Q&A, right? Now I want to talk to you about closing. Okay, closing is a sales term. It's one of those podcasts that I was telling you about that we have because this is so important. You see, the job interview is a sales process. You are the product, and the hiring manager is the buyer. The decision-making process that they make in choosing who to hire is the same as someone choosing which product to buy. In this process, you're also the sales rep. You have to ask the question that closes the sale. Do you want to make this purchase? If you don't ask, you'll leave the decision floating in the air, hoping that they'll decide in your favor, but most of the time it will float away. If you take ownership of it here and you ask, you'll end up with many more decisions in your favor. Now, you can close in a number of different ways. You can say, Mr. Manager, are you confident that I'm someone who can meet the challenges of this position? Are you going to move me forward in the process? Can you see me being a member of your team? Okay, now, if you can't be that direct, there's a couple other ways that you can do this. You can say, do you see any reason why you wouldn't hire me for this job? Or is there any reason I wouldn't move forward? Now, see, I don't like those last two as well as I do the first 4 or 5. And the reason is the first 4 or 5 are from a positive perspective. And ultimately, positive is always better, okay? So no matter how you ask, what you want to do is uncover the doubts the hiring manager has about you. If they have doubts, you can address those right there while you still have a chance. Right now in the interview is your best shot at getting the offer. You have to make the most of it. Okay? So this brings me to my next question for you. It's kind of like the question I was asking the person who had the interview. I want to know, how do you close for the job? So go ahead and tell me, how do you close for the job? Because this is really, really important, okay? Go ahead and answer that for me. I do one-on-one interview coaching. Yeah, so Jeannie, this is a problem because this is a part of the interview that when you do this, it will really pay you back. You'll get more offers. You'll do better in the interview. You'll have a better discussion. They'll know you better. They'll see your value better. So it's really important, okay? I had a lady, Catherine, come to me a couple weeks ago. She'd had at least 10 interviews and no offers, and she looked really good. Our resume looked fabulous. So it's definitely the interview problems. We did 2 hours of interview coaching, and she is going to get at least one offer. She's got 3 companies she's in play with now, and she's absolutely knows that she's going to get at least one offer, probably 2, possibility at the 3rd one. And she said, you know, the whole difference was she just wasn't coming at it from the right place. She wasn't answering the questions well. She wasn't organized like she should be. She had some, you know, we all have some stress in our life, and her stress was, interrupting her interview. So this was a big deal for her. So if you need some interview coaching, I'll have Sheila give you guys the links for that. But let's take a look and see, what did you say? How do you close in the interview? So first of all, the only correct answers are E and F, okay? E and F. So if you're not saying, if you're just thanking them, if you're asking when you're going to hear back, see, that's not the same. Guest 81855 says, can you see me being successful in the position? That's perfect. Will you hire me, or will you recommend me for the next step in the process? Awesome. Awesome. So JB, you're right. Ask them whether they see you moving forward in the interview process. Because see, what happens is when they say yes, they'll never forget that. They'll never forget that commitment. Whereas if you don't ask this question, what happens is they all get in a little round group to talk about who they're going to move forward. And the most eloquent speaker within that group makes all the decisions, whether they liked you, whether you were liked by the other guys or not. I've seen this happen over and over and over again. Now, closing questions can be difficult. They are pushy. They might seem pushy, but they are appropriate. And if you have any doubt if they have doubts, you've got to address those. Otherwise, the candidate who takes away the doubts gets hired. Now, it might seem a little scary to bring up the issues, but the issues are there whether you bring them up or not. You may uncover something that you can deal with. Like somebody who the company didn't think they had experience with Salesforce, but they did. They just didn't bring that up, didn't mention that when they closed hard and that came up as an objection. They were able to deal with that very, very well. If you close, the leaning will solidify in your favor. And once you have that conversation and get them to that point where they say, yes, you're a great candidate, then they become an advocate for hiring you after you leave. And that's a great spot for you to be in. Now, if you can do these 3 things, if you can address those concerns, those 4 concerns I was telling you about, especially by bringing that 30, 60, 90-day plan, if you can give positive, winning, selling answers to the most common job interview questions, and then if you can be strong and close for the job, well, then you're going to have an excellent chance at getting the offer. Now, I've shown you how to ace the interview and get the offer. You need to know how to get more interviews for better jobs. So we're going to talk about that a little bit here. It's great to get 1 or 2 interviews, but it's even better to get more and to have more than 1 offer. Think about how incredible that would feel, because that's what I want for you. That's the difference between getting a job and getting a dream job. Now, to get more interviews and better opportunities, there's 2 ways to make this happen. The first is many of you, your resumes have issues on them that are holding you back. So you've got to improve that resume. And the number 1 way to improve your resume is to transform it from a list of job responsibilities to a list of quantified accomplishments. Now, quantifying your accomplishments means to talk about them in terms of numbers, dollars, and percentages. And this is so important that I'm going to ask you to put the number sign, the dollar sign, and the percentage sign into chat. I'm going to also ask Sheila to give you the link to our Extreme Resume Makeover Kit. It includes the proven templates, video coaching, samples, 400 examples of this quantification, and my personal review of your resume when you're done, which is priceless. Because if there's something on your resume that's stopping you from moving forward, we need to know that immediately. Now, I'm giving you some examples here. Of how to quantify. Instead of saying brought in new customers, you want to say brought in how many? 3. Worth what? 600,000. In what amount of time? 2 months, 20 months, whatever it is. Hiring managers are going to be drawn to numbers. This is a big deal. Okay, so guest 1855, if you're saying you're getting caught off guard on some questions, maybe let me know what some of those are here, and we'll deal with those in the Q&A. Hiring managers love to see numbers. They're drawn to them. See, they deal with numbers all day long. So they see numbers as proof, or numbers don't lie. Have you ever heard that? Numbers don't lie. That's why they're so powerful in the resume, in the cover letter, and in the interview conversation. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and go to the next question for you guys. If your resume grabbed the attention of the hiring manager, would you get more interviews? Yes or no? Let me know there. While you do that, I'm going to let you listen to Dave. And Dave's going to tell you what his job search is worth. And when we get done listening to him, I want you to tell me what your job search is worth. So here we go. Let me pull up this audio.
Hi, Peggy. Yeah, my name's Dave. The reason I'm calling is that I'm a very satisfied customer. I took a webinar in mid to late July, and we had talked about reaching out to hiring managers, how to do that, how to download the LinkedIn contacts. So I acted upon that on Thursday, and on Friday, the following after the webinar, I contacted some hiring managers. I got immediate responses from several of them. One was particularly interesting, so I just want to let you know, based on that, I started a new role this Tuesday in a big data, AI, analytics field and IoT field. And you mentioned this at one of your webinars recently about someone talking about their current role was about 3 years. That's the length of their time. Given that's about my length of time for roles, it's a $600,000 opportunity. So just by spending a couple minutes with you and paying for the webinar and some of your products, I want to say thank you.
Okay, so JB's already written what his job search is worth. I want you guys to tell me, what is your job search worth? So what did Dave say? His was worth $600,000. I had a gentleman the other day in my coaching tell me that his job search was worth $270,000, and that's why he needed to do whatever it took to be successful in it, because it was so valuable to him and his family. And I asked him how he got that number, and he said, well, I make $90,000 a year, and I've never been in a job less than 3 years, so I think it's worth $270,000, but he makes $90,000 a year. So that's how he figured that out. What is your job search worth to you? Now, so what Dave did to get more interviews is he got his resume into the hands of the hiring manager. And if you're like most people, what you've done in your job search is you have looked for job postings online, you've filled out applications, and you've waited, right? And a lot of times they don't call, do they? And that's because that application kind of goes through a grinder and they look for, you know, how old you are, what zip code you live in, what degree you have, or if you do have a degree, when did you get that degree, any gaps, the titles, all kinds of different things, right? I had a gentleman named Ed up in Boston that had applied twice to a company for which he was uniquely qualified. And when I say that, I'm saying like, there's a, you know, we have less than 100 people, but let's say we had 100 people on this webinar. None of us would have the qualification that this guy Ed had. This was a very specific certification that they wanted. He'd had it. I don't know that I've ever seen it with anyone else before. He applied twice, never got an interview. So he got our Hidden Jobs Finder, which is our tool for finding and contacting hiring managers. And he used it to contact a manager of the company. And guess what? In 2 weeks, he had an interview. The third week, he had an offer. The guy hired him, was thrilled with him, and had never seen his application. Can you believe that? Okay, so let's skip that application. Let's don't fill out any more applications. Let's go directly to hiring managers. Now, the trick to contacting hiring managers is to contact them for a job that you want at a company that you like, whether or not they have a job posted. Why is that? Because there's this thing called the hidden job market. 70 to 80% of all jobs are never posted. For every job that you see, there's at least one more that you don't see. And the only way to get in front of those is to get in front of the hiring managers. And then you get a huge advantage when you do this that you wouldn't expect. So I had this lady named Kim from Ohio. She's over 50. She'd been looking for a year. She was very distraught, actually, about the whole situation, very negative. And so she started using our Hidden Jobs Finder. Again, that's our tool for finding and contacting hiring managers. And I'll have Sheila put the link for that into chat. So she used it. She contacted a manager. He interviewed her and made her an offer and never put the job up, never posted the job. Okay, so she didn't even have to deal with all that competition, right? That's a big advantage. And you've got to contact a lot of hiring managers because you don't know who has the jobs. Odds are important. Job searching today is a numbers game. The more interviews you get, the more chances you have of receiving an offer. The faster you get the interviews, the faster you get the job. Statistically speaking, if you contact 20 hiring managers, you're going to end up with 1 or 2 interviews. If you contact 200 hiring managers, I'd say you'll have 10 to 20 interviews. Most people don't understand this, but this is why you end up in a long, exhausting job search. Okay? If you'll hit it hard and fast the way I'm telling you to do, it will be much more exciting. It'll be easier to keep up your confidence, and it will open up many more opportunities for you. So let's see what you guys think about this. If you contacted 100 plus hiring managers, would you have more interviews? Go ahead and answer that. If you contacted 100 plus hiring managers, would you have more interviews? That's right, definitely. No question, right? Awesome, good job, Sarah. See, when you get more interviews by improving your resume, quantifying those accomplishments, and getting it into the hands of the hiring managers, then when you go to the interview, prepared with that 30, 60, 90-day plan with those good, strong selling questions, and you close for the job, you're going to end up very quickly with a job offer or 2 or 3 that you're excited about, okay? Awesome. So everybody agrees. If you contact 100 plus hiring managers, you would get more interviews. This is what you need to do, right? All of this is about how to sell yourself for the job. The job search is truly a sales process. You and your skills are the product for sale. You want someone to hire you. Your customer is the hiring manager. Your job is to show them your value and make them want to choose you. The normal process of applying for jobs keeps you away from your customer, and you can't make a sale without talking to the person with the money in the pocket and the problem that needs to be solved. Now, this is a fundamental change to job searching, but when you put these strategies into place, you go from struggling, no interviews, very discouraged, to getting interviews you're excited about and offers within weeks. Now, I told you I was going to give you a chance at some additional training, and here it is. if you know that you need this kind of coaching to give you the edge that you need and want in your job search, and you want all of the templates, all of the reviews, all the expert guidance that you said you did, then I've put together a system that will give you the very best resume, the very best interviews, and the best offers fast. So if this is what you want, you can have all of it for one low price, okay? You'll have a perfect resume and cover letter with an easy to follow customizable template. You'll have those 400 examples of quantification. You'll have a LinkedIn profile that will attract recruiters and hiring managers because you'll go through our tutorial. You'll use the Hidden Jobs Finder to find and contact hiring managers and get more interviews. You'll have strategic messages that powerfully communicate with the hiring manager. You'll have the proven job-winning 30, 60, 90-day plan, every one of the plans, all 4 of them. You'll have the professional reviews of your resume, the cover letter, the LinkedIn profile, and the plan. That's priceless. You'll have networking skills, more confidence through coaching, more effective interview skills through that hour-and-a-half of video coaching. Plus, we have over 200 hours of online video coaching. At least half of that would be interview coaching. There would be a number of hours on closing. There would be a number of hours on salary negotiation. That coaching will change you forever. And if you choose, you'll also have the individualized custom solutions for your job search and interview issues through weekly live coaching calls with me, America's #1 job search and interview coach. Imagine how that would help. Now, each one of these things sell on our site. Altogether, the tools sell for $1,000. I've got the prices on there. Go back one slide. Sorry, Jamie. So the resume template sells for $74. The cover letter sells for $97. The Hidden Jobs Finder sells for $197. The reviews are priceless, but I charge $400 an hour for coaching. You get those 30, 60, 90-day plans. They sell for $97 each. That's $388. You'll have the interview coaching, which is the hour-and-a-half of interview coaching. That's $97. The salary negotiations, the 200 hours of video coaching, and you'll also have the weekly live coaching calls with me, and those are fabulous. We speak voice to voice. It's like a go-to webinar, and it allows me, we talk voice to voice. In fact, on one of our coaching calls last week, there was a gentleman having problems with his video camera, and he had a video interview coming on, so we all jumped on our video cameras to see how we were all doing on that. It was fabulous. So it's really, really helpful. Now, these tools cost over $1,000. That coaching, 4 hours of group coaching, because you'll get an hour every week, you'll be in that group coaching call with me so I can push you through this job search, right? That's over $1,600 worth of value. So here's the big question. What do you have to pay to get this? You can have it all for one low membership price. You'll get all the tools and all the templates and all the courses if that's all you want. None of the group coaching calls for $37 per month. Everybody should get that. Just to have it 1 month, if nothing else, to go through all that interview coaching. It will change you, okay? Then, if you want the bi-weekly group coaching call, that's $67 per month. You'll get all the tools, all the templates, all the reviews, plus the bi-weekly group coaching call. But the very best value is the executive level. This gives you all of the tools, all of the templates, all the courses, all the reviews, and weekly group coaching calls. People tell me these are tremendous. I asked a lady last week how to explain to you how powerful that was. And she said, well, Peggy, I have to tell you, I never thought we were going to actually get to speak voice to voice, and that you would look at my resume right there and look at my LinkedIn profile right there and be talking to us about how to interview and telling us which tools to use and the confidence and just the motivation. It was incredible. In fact, it's almost every time that I get on one of these calls, someone has already gotten interviews from the Hidden Jobs Finder and is already wanting to tell everybody else about it. So these coaching calls are very, very valuable. This is worth a lot to you, but what's really important is think about what your job search is worth. We've had folks say they got 3 interviews in 3 weeks, and Robert the other day on my group coaching call got 3 interviews in 1 week. I've had people tell me that they've got the best job offer ever. I actually had a 74-year-old lady the other day tell me that she's an attorney in Chicago. She got the greatest job she's ever had at 74. So we can deal with any issue that you've got. We're offering an affordable monthly membership with all of the tools, all of the training, so that you can get the job and the interviews that you want. So no matter which membership level you choose, you can cancel at any time. as soon as you get the job that you want. Don't be afraid to get started. We have a 100% money back guarantee within the first 30 days. We've only started doing this in 2019, and it is very, very popular. Our customers love it. So if you invest in yourself, before the timer runs out, we are going to put up a timer. I'm going to give you 4 additional bonuses. And now these bonuses are going to be yours to keep even after you cancel the membership. And the bonuses are going to be worth more than $500. So for the price of $97 per month, you're going to get $500 worth of bonuses that you're going to get to keep even after you cancel. Plus, you're going to have access to all of these tips, tools, trainings, videos, templates, and reviews, plus the video, plus the group coaching call. It's very, very powerful. So you'll get my 81 job search coaching videos. These videos sell for $4.99 each. This is over a $400 value. These will explain a layoff, help with salary negotiation, job search over 40, brag books, closing for the job. That closing is really, really important, okay? You'll also get my 50 job interview questions and answers. That's what you're going to use to prepare for those interviews, right? And you're going to get my ebook on 100 job interview questions answered so that you can go through that, and you'll have this to keep for the rest of your life. You'll use this multiple times, okay? You're also going to get my podcast 6-pack. I told you about those podcasts. This sells on our website every day for $67. You're going to get to keep it. You will use this many times. It will change your interviews. It will change the offers you get. Now, what needs to happen here is to get these bonuses, you need to order now. All right. And because we have to limit the membership because it is very time intensive, we can only sell 7 of these today. Okay, so once we get to 7, we have to stop because it's very time intensive, because I keep those group coaching calls small and I make sure that everybody gets the time that they need. So if you want more direction, okay, and more support for one of the most important transitions of your life, then this is available for you. Go ahead and click on the link there on the right, pick out the membership level that's best for you, and let's get started. Here's what others people say about this. Patrice said, it helped me edge out candidates with more experience, okay? Cynthia, Cami, Peggy, I got the job, director of HR, higher than what I had applied for. I know a lot of it had to do with that 30, 60, 90-day plan, and I listened and watched your videos repeatedly on strategically answering the interview questions. I will recommend you over and over again. I am your biggest fan. And I got an email yesterday, during my webinar yesterday, I got an email from a gentleman who told me that he got a job making 22% more than what he was making before using these tools. Now, at his level, that's probably worth about $18,000 to $23,000. All right. So wouldn't it be worth it to spend $97 a month to get an $18,000 to $20,000 raise? I think so, right? So everybody in here needs to go ahead and click on that link over there that Sheila has shared with you and get started. This is what you need to do. How long have you been looking for a job? How long have you been looking for a job? You can't afford to keep doing it the same old way. You need help, and I can help you with it. Again, everybody needs to click on the link, choose the membership level, and get started. We only have 7 today that we can sell, so you've got to go ahead and get in there as soon as possible. After that, we can't sell any more of the memberships this week. Now, remember, if you get a job just 1 month faster, you're going to put a lot of money in your pocket. I'm going to let you listen to what Joel Philhauer, stay right there on Joel's slide for me, Jamie. I want you to hear what Joel said about his job search and what happened.
Yeah, Piggy, I'll tell you what, it was probably the best $197 I've ever spent. I'd been battling the job market there, going to the job boards, and getting 100 emails a day telling me all these great opportunities, and I'm filling out the applications and getting no response at all. And I came along and saw your advertisements and attended one of your webinars and spent the money on the products that you sell, the information, the guidance that you provide, and so I spent the money. And after 3 months of nothing, 10 days later, after writing to people out there on LinkedIn and working with my network, within 10 days, I had a response of somebody that wanted to talk to me. And I went, and within 2 hours, from moment of introduction to the job offer, took about 2 hours. And I've been with this organization now for almost 3 months. It's a great opportunity, and I couldn't have done it without you. The compensation was $150,000 a year, and with bonus opportunities. So it met my needs. I learned that from you, and from your presentations, and like I say, it worked.
Awesome. Okay, so if you want that kind of experience, you need to go ahead and click and join. And remember, we only have room for 7 purchases. We've already gotten 1 from Dawn. Roger Voss, I saw that you purchased your graduate level membership. Do you need to upgrade to the executive level membership so that you can come to some of the group coaching calls? If you do, send Sheila a note at support@careerconfidential.com. Okay, so we've already got 1 sale, so now we only have 6 left. If you've not clicked on that link, you need to do so. This is going to make a big difference for you. Okay, big difference. All right, go ahead and click on the link and get started. 1855 says, I'm joining. Awesome. And I'm going to help you with those questions in just a moment. Leah says, I'm in. Thank you so much. I'm going to join. So go ahead and get done. When your purchase is complete, you'll receive an email that shows you how to log into the website to get all the tools and courses. If you have any problems at all, you can call our office to make it as convenient as possible. Everything is online. We don't ship your tools. You don't have to pay for shipping charges. You have no delay in getting your products. You can be on your way to your dream job by tomorrow. But the clock is counting down on the rapid action bonus, so you need to act now. All right, guys, so let's go to the Q&A. I'm going to go ahead, Jamie, if you can put them on the slide where they can see the membership levels, and I'm going to go ahead and put my webcam up and answer questions here. And I know Jennifer's got us some good questions, and so does 1855. So we're going to be able to work on those. All right, if you see me looking over here to the left, that's because my screen where I can see your chat is there, and that's what I'm doing. And now I'm pulling up the questions. So Kathy in technical support, this will absolutely work for you. And JB, have you ordered yet? Because you're way too valuable not to use these tools, okay? You need to get the executive level and come to the group coaching call. 1855, you say you're going to order, so we'll be set. Adina, as a customer service or writer, this will work. Roger, I just wanted to ask you if you wanted to upgrade, because I think coming to the group coaching call would be very helpful for you, at least for 1 month, right? 3414, special counsel. I just helped a lady who's an attorney in Chicago at 74 years of age get the job that she wanted. All right, so let's start with some questions here. Peggy, Jennifer, this is Jennifer's question. She says she has a video interview, and it's with attorneys, general counsel, and she wants to know how to get early in the conversation the question of, what are you looking for? So Jennifer, let's say that they say, hey, Jennifer, so glad you came. We want to ask you a few questions. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I want you to give tell me about yourself. And then I want you to say, I have to tell you the job description was a little bit vague, and I was hoping that you could tell me a little bit more about what you need done. Okay. And listen, and you could even take notes. Okay, I would take a portfolio in and take notes so that you can write down what they say they're interested in, because you're going to want to hit on this in the interview and in your thank you note as well. Okay, Sharon, if you got fired, how do you answer if they ask you why you left? Okay, well, that depends, Sharon. Are they ever going to find out that you got fired? Most times, if you call the company and ask whether you've worked there, they're going to say you worked here from here to here, okay? And they're going to say your title, that's it. The only other thing that they might do is they may say, is she eligible for rehire? And that could be a problem. So what you need to do is find out what your references are going to say, all right? Jennifer's got another question. What about this 30, 60, 90-day plan? It's a video interview with only one person and is scheduled for 45 minutes. She's saying, do I try to do it in the video, or do I wait for the in-person? I think you have to wait for the in-person, but you can use it to talk about getting that in-person interview. You can say, I've really enjoyed very much speaking with you today. I'm excited about this opportunity. I'd like to put together a 30, 60, 90-day plan of how I would approach a job and go over it with you. When can we get together? And that's how you can get that next interview, right? Okay, Durana, I love the 30, 60, 90. Durana, you definitely need to get these tools and go through all that coaching. It's going to help you be more positive and confident, okay? Sean, I do see Sean's purchase. Congratulations. So now we're down to five purchases possible in the time that we have left. Guys, if you purchase in the time we have left, you're going to get $500 worth of tools, yours to keep even after you cancel. Ella says, I'm changing industries from selling hardware to software, and the feedback I get is the manager thought about your background and thinks you're more focused on selling IT hardware, which is not what we do here. You can say, look, I have in the past, there's no question, but I'm a fantastic salesperson, and I want and intend to change to selling the software solutions, and I'm going to be very, very successful. The question is going to be, am I going to be successful for you or for someone else? Okay, Ella? Let's see. So here, 1855. The question. Name would be in lights in the national sales meeting. So my answer would be, I want both, and I'm going to get both because I'm going to be your best sales rep. Okay. That's what I would say. All right, guys, if you have not clicked on the link and started, Deborah, I do see your purchase. Congratulations. So we're now down to only 4 more memberships that we can sell today. Okay. Sharon says, I was fired without cause. They always ask me why I left the previous job as a nurse educator. There's a 10-month gap, and I've never found the best way to answer it. Okay, Ella, I made your day. Awesome. Ella, are you in my club? But if you're not, you should be. Okay. And if there is anybody in here who can speak to our tools and tell others what a good decision this is to make, please do so. I love getting messages. Like I said, that one yesterday where the guy's like, I got a 22% base pay increase using our tools. Woo woo. Yes, I thought so, Ella. I thought that was you. So Sharon, what I would do is I would say, hey, look, the position wasn't working out. I couldn't see myself there in a long term. I had some situation at home that I needed to deal with. Obviously a lot of us have parents that are aging. I had to, take care of my mom, take care of my dad. I've done that. That's resolved. And now I'm looking for a new opportunity. Okay. And Sharon, as far as they're concerned, you've only just started looking for a job, and now I'm starting to look for a new opportunity. So that you don't say you've been looking all this time. You've been doing something else, and now you're looking for a new opportunity. Okay. All right, JB, have you ordered? If you haven't ordered, you need to. Okay, JB, you need to order if you have not. Sharon. Roger, again, I was wanting to know if you wanted to upgrade. Kathy, Ella already has our tools. Ella, I think you were in one of the group coaching calls. Can you tell the folks how important that call is and what a big difference it makes? All right, guys, now we are down to a limited amount of time here. Limited amount of time. We are back on the slides. Awesome. I'm going to take my webcam off so that we're back on the slides, right? Sharon, you're welcome. Don't let this hold you back, man. Go forward, all right? Life's too short, okay? If you have not ordered, you need to go ahead and do so. We do have 4 memberships left. And what's the amount of time that we have now? Okay, let me see, 16 minutes. 4 memberships left in 16 minutes. Okay. If you need to talk with us to make this decision, please let us know. You can call us at our number 800-691-2562. Let's go back and look at all the tools that you're going to get, okay? Oh, Ella, this is nice. I purchased a package from Peggy, and I highly recommend it. It is a life changer for people who are left alone searching. I used information all the time, and I see the difference it makes during my interviews and follow-ups. I'm very optimistic now about landing a new role. Thank you, Ella. I really appreciate that. So take a look at this. You're going to get all the tools that you need to be successful. You don't need another thing. You don't need to hire a resume writer. You can update your own resume. I'm going to tell you in the call exactly what to do. You won't have any questions. You're going to have our hidden jobs finder. That's how you find and contact people and get more interviews, which each and every one of you need to get more interviews. You're going to have the review of your resume, the review of your LinkedIn profile, the review of your cover letter, the review of your 30, 60, 90 day plan. You just cannot beat that. You're going to have every one of those 30, 60, 90 day plans. So if you need a manager's plan, you need a sales plan, you need an action plan, a career plan, this is going to make a big difference for you. You'll also have that hour and a half of interview coaching. And Dorana, that is really important because you need it. That's what's going to help you get over that nerve problem that you've got going on. And you're going to have over 200 hours of online video coaching. Plus, if you choose the executive level membership, you'll have weekly group coaching calls. And that is going to make a big difference for you. Now, this is over $1,100 worth of tools, over $1,600 worth of coaching per month. This is what you need to get the job search and get the offers that you want. No more looking around, no more wondering whether you're doing the right thing, no more wondering why you don't have interviews. All of that we can take care of. You just need to click on the link and let's get going. So if you have not already done that, we are down to 14 minutes. If I don't see any additional questions, I may go ahead and close out the webinar, but we are down to 14 minutes until the offer is over, and we have 4 memberships still available this week. If you have not purchased, you need to go ahead and do so, okay? All right. Okay, so any more questions? Any questions at all? Sharon, have you joined the club? And Adina, have you? And Jim and Kathy? Here, I'm going to read you guys some notes first, though. Sheila Mulaney said, Peggy, at 63, I was convinced I was being overlooked because of my age. Using your plan, your strategies, I was able to succeed in a very short time. The position is in my own town, saving me 16 hours a week in a commute. Thank you so much for your fantastic program. And Steve Solomon, Peggy, I wanted to tell you I had an interview last Friday, and for the first time in my 23-year IT career, I got a call with the offer. And he talks about using our LinkedIn profile, the resume, and the 30, 60, 90-day plan. And Cindy says, hello, I'm Peggy. This is a recording. I purchased your stuff. It's been a phenomenal experience. I'm so thrilled with everything that you provide. I'm happily in the process of negotiating a salary. I've been offered the job I want, and I've been able to do a negotiation with them I never would have done before. Thank you so much. It has all been so worth it. And Philippe Vivette said, Peggy, thank you so much. I did my best, followed all of your instructions, and got a fantastic new job in 5 weeks. Even now, I receive new opportunities. I must say the 30, 60, 90-day plan was a key element in my success. All the best. Thank you, Philippe Vivette. And Jim Jonas says, Peggy, I accepted a job with Brady. It was a 6-figure opportunity. I was at the point where I had to shut down my search because I couldn't take any more interviews. I got really good at that 30, 60, 90-day plan. The one simple tool is like gold. It's very valuable to the whole process. Thank you so much for your system and advice. I really don't think I could have done it without you. And Linda says, I found a job and I wanted to let you know I got it because of the 30, 60, 90-day plan. The manager said they'd never seen anything like it before and was thoroughly impressed. Now I'm making more than I ever have before, and I owe it all to you. Thank you so much, Linda. All right, guys, we're down to how much time? Let me take a look. 11 minutes. Okay, 11 minutes. Okay, Sharon says I'm joining. Jim says I'm already a member. Awesome. Good deal, Jim. 1855 has another question. They say, walk you through the resume. Start anywhere. You have a lot of experience. You don't have to start at the beginning. We don't have much time. That's really a tell me about yourself, and it should be something like, I was born and raised in the South. I got an undergraduate degree from Georgia Tech in XYZ. Landed my first job as an AVC. I always knew that I wanted to be XYZ. I was promoted rapidly within that position and recognized for my success. I was promoted 3 times in that company, and then I was recruited by another company to come over and do ABC, and where again I received XYZ. Unfortunately, that company had a layoff, and many of us were impacted by it, and that's why I'm sitting here talking to you. Okay, 1855, does that help? And I think you're in medical or pharmaceutical sales, so you have to talk numbers, dollars, and percentages. If you do not, you won't get the offers that you should get. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close out the webinar. All right, I'm hoping that each and every one of you are going to grab yourself a membership. We only have 4 that are available, so you got to make your decision, and you need to do it before the 10 minutes is up, because that's how you'll get the additional bonuses that are yours to keep even after you cancel your membership. You can, Ella says, why do you say the born and raised? It's just a starting point. People kind of like to know where you're from. You know, so you don't have to say that. You could say, I got an undergraduate degree from Georgia Tech, or I got an undergraduate degree from University of Oklahoma, or I got an undergraduate degree from USC, whatever. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close out the webinar. You can grab that link. Each and every one of you need to do this. It's going to make a big difference. It is transformational. It's fabulous. We're very proud to offer it. It's very time intensive, and it will make a big difference for you. So I'm going to go ahead and close out and wish you guys a great day. Bye.